Do you like weird fashion? Do you like haute couture? Do you like a particular design to the point of obsessing it over the last 15 years, adding it to all of your mood boards, and literally crying when you saw it for real in a museum? Well, no, that would be weird. Anyways, I've been on a quest to trying to make my own design of this masterpiece with the help of 300 of my viewers. You see all those sparkly scales made by experts in the haute couture ateliers? Well, that would take me years of work. So I had the idea to make it into a community project, asking the people watching, that's you, if they wanted to participate and make me a little scale. And that kind of backfired a little bit. Maybe I will have enough in 6 months. Maybe I will get like 5. What have I done? Anyways, I have now 13,000 scales and I need to turn them into a dress before December. We are in the end of October. Because I am flying to the US for a convention where I need to wear it for a day, do interviews, and then it will be on display for all the visitors to see it. So like, no pressure. And it's not like 285 of my viewers has spent, but I think it's thousands of combined hours on these scales. All of these little intricate pieces of art from around the world, which are now in my sewing room waiting to be turned into something wearable. Okay, also, do you like my jacket? I found it after a few years. It was part of the first suit that I made. I think it looks pretty cool. It was inspired by the Fifth Element. Stop that, I have work to do. Let's go and design my own dress. Thierry, si tu m'entends, donne-moi la force. Let's go! Rebonjour. Let's go to design phase. Please enjoy my patriotic t-shirt. Where do you think I got it? That's right, Japan. We have to understand how this dress was made, list all the potential problems that I will have and the changes that I will have to make on my dress, and design exactly what this project is going to look like. I have kindly been sent this book. The publishers do deep dives on various famous designers. There's a ton of interesting stories and images and souvenirs from the creators, like notes, messages, technical documents, and there are a few spreads on this specific collection, especially these pages. I wish we could see the rest of this picture, but drawings. Even on her, the corset is very tight. So I've drawn how I think the dress is made. This picture is extremely interesting. So there is a corset attached to the rest. I don't know if she would have been wearing another one underneath. I think this is the main one because of all the boning that we see. And another thing that you see is that there are eyelets here on the back of the neck. Right here, it's not the color of the mannequin, it's a little bit darker. The base of the skirt might be in some kind of sheer. Something very strong might be horsehair. And you see these, which I don't think they are boning channel. I think they are some kind of ribbon to help with the weight of the skirt. This is obviously made of corset canvas. I think I have this kind of thing. I have a piece to show you. This is usually the stuff we use to make corsets, and very often it has this specific motif, and I think it's the same one here. So I think everything is attached together with boned corset, a sheer skirt that has these strengthening strips of ribbon or maybe grosgrain. They look slightly shiny, maybe it's like satin ribbon. I remember somewhere that I found pictures of lacing in the back, and with the eyelet visible here, I think there is lacing all over the back, maybe even until the widest part of the body, the hips. And these will be hidden in the scales, or maybe there is a flap of fabric coming over the lacing, I don't know. So this is my guess on how the dress is constructed. But look at her. Do you think she will be able to run towards the exit in case of an emergency? I have a few things to take into considerations. Let's list them. I will be wearing this dress for a whole day at a convention in another country, and hopefully more times than that. And I am not a supermodel, and I'm not going to be tight lacing. I need to be able to dress myself on my own, probably in a hotel room where I have to travel to the convention afterwards. So comfort and movement would definitely have to be improved from the original design. I need to be able to go to the bathroom without removing the whole thing. Being able to eat. It is going to be super heavy, and I'm probably going to sweat because I'm going to Florida. Obviously storage, we're gonna add pockets. I need to bring it on my trip there, so it has to fit in my suitcase as well. And of course I have 25 billion scales to add to it, so I will alter the design to fit as much as I can on this dress. I know it was suggested, but no, I am not making 2 of them. Let's get them out! So these are all the scales. If you haven't seen the video, I organized all of them by color. There are about 13,000 of them. So, the plan. Here is my secret plan. I'm going to separate it into 6 pieces. First, for snatching the waist, I'm going to have a little corset underneath, separate from the dress. It's going to be on the bust, so it will tighten the waist, but also support the weight of the skirt, which is going to be super heavy. On top of that undergarment, we're gonna have the skirt. I'm going to make it slightly less tight than the original, so I can walk with a bit more flair in the back. One of my plans for adding more scales to the dress is to add a train. It was actually also suggested a lot in the comments of my last video about the dress. It is going to be a detachable train. I could have like a runway with it, and also it's going to look nice when it's on exhibition at the center. But also for just moving around, I can have like a not too much of a train, just a little bit still. Next, we're gonna have a top, which is not gonna have sleeves for ventilation purposes and just general comfort and be able to move around better. It's going to have some structure, like a corset, but it's more like to support the weight of the thing that's gonna be on top of that, which are the scales and especially the metal thing at the front. Let's call it the metal abdomen. This top will be laced up at the back. On top of that, I'm going to have a little cape. This is my second plan to add a lot of scales to this design. I really love this tiny jacket. It is going to be this concept, but without the pointy sleeves. I want them round. And also these sleeves are opened, so I can have this longer. It's like kind of a cape, but it's not hiding the dress. I think it's the best way to combine adding more fabric without hiding the dress. And also that way I can have different colors on the outside of the cape and the inside. Maybe scales on both sides. We'll see if I can lift it up. And then the headdress, it's mostly made of feather on the original. I'm gonna try to find a way to make it with scales. And because my arms are gonna be visible in this, I think I'm gonna add gloves, because I love like a long glove. And I can cover it in scales and add long nails. But also I can remove it to use my phone or eat. For now, I think this is the best design to combine all the problems that I have, while still being true to this original design. And also I really want it to be well constructed. For once, I'm going to use only good materials on this. By the way, thank you so much for the support on Patreon. You will get the proper tools and proper material for this. Because 300 people sent me a lot of scales from around the world, and I want to make sure that the final dress is making them shine. Literally, because they are very sparkly. So let's go with this very properly and work on a nice mock-up. I'm going to be very serious on this project, guys. We can do this! Je suis malade. Let's go. Okay, I'm whipping out the good patterning canvas for this project. To the ironing board! Which is actually just behind. On the right of the screen, you can see all the people that sent me at least one scale with their country. If you are interested, I will put like the spreadsheet link in the description. I think we can make some sort of fun statistics with all those countries. In third place, we have France with 39 people sending me a scale. Second place is Germany with 47 people. And first place goes to the USA with 75 people. And as a reward, I'm coming to show you the dress in December. No, I'm joking. This is just a coincidence. And on the left of the screen, we have, of course, my Patreons, who are the best in the world. And fun fact, we have a few people who are on both lists. So, extra thank you. What I'm doing right now is called draping on a mannequin. I'm bringing pieces of this cotton canvas, and I smooth the fabric into the shape I want and pinning it in place. It's kind of like sculpting the design that you want, but one piece at a time. The technique is not very complicated, but it takes a little time to get it right. I think you have to do it over and over to just train your eye to make sure that you can see the proportions, even if it's on something that's halfway done. It's kind of like sketching your design. It's not difficult to hold a pencil, but for your drawing in the end to look like something that you want, you just have to train. Just practice, practice, practice. I have learned the basic of this technique in fashion school, and I've just been practicing it for many years. But once you are getting good at it, it's like feeling like you have a superpower. You can make any design that you have in your head appear in the 3D world. I think it's like my favorite part, but it's also the shortest. Okay, so here she is. The sleeve might be a little bit too big, and I think this shape is better than what I had planned on this drawing. Maybe the jacket will go higher, but it's better to have longer. The skirt, I think the shape is nice, but we will see when we have like a full one, because with half a skirt it's hard to decide exactly. And if we remove the jacket, I'm not sure about the shape of the bottom of the corset because I want all of the metal attached to this so the skirt can be separate. Maybe this will go like this, I don't know. I don't know yet. But yeah, this is the basic shape. I'm going to transfer everything to paper and then I can make a mock-up. This mannequin is not exactly my shape. It has a very long torso and I'm kind of a little bit wider, so I need a wearable mock-up. Let's write down where all the seams are. Notches. The easiest way to transfer your pattern to paper is to use a roulette. You iron each piece very flat, spread it on your paper and the roulette will go through the fabric, etching little dots onto the paper. For paper, I'm using these sheets of paper that are from an old paperboard. It's not the most practical, but it works fine. You can use whatever you have on hand. I've traced the top. I'm sorry it's barely visible, but I already know things that I have to change. So I already know that I have to reduce this and also reduce the back a little bit. Okay, pattern is done, all the pieces have been cut, ready to assemble, but I am tired today, so I'm going to sleep. Tomorrow we assemble the mock-up and I can try it on. Will this be a disaster? I don't know. Bonne nuit. It's the next day. Let's assemble this mock-up so I can try it on. N'est-ce pas, bébou? We have our pieces, let's get ready to assemble. And yes, somebody drooled on my pattern papers. N'est-ce pas? Okay, well, this one is doing emotional support. I have done a mock-up. As you can see, the shape is slightly bigger than the original, and the sleeve might also be too big. I don't know. There's probably a ton of work to do at the waist because it is not very cinched right now. I need to try it on with the corset. Hello! So, it's not bad, but there are plenty of adjustments to make. First of all, the general shape. I thought I wasn't going to like the little bit flared skirt, but I think it looks great. I'll keep it like this for now. But the sleeve, although I really like the vibe, I think it's just too big. I mean, that's a pretty shape, but it's too like medieval. I think it's too strong of a concept. So I'm keeping the general thing, I'm just going to make it a lot more narrow. It looks nice. The skirt might be a little too tight around the hips. It just keeps gripping up because there is not enough room. See those splits even though I'm standing up? It's just too tight. The waist is not too bad, there's just a bit too much fabric because with the corset I have more of a waist than this, so I'm just going to remove a little bit of fabric just right there, and also with the boning I think it's going to stand up a lot better. I don't know if you see it right, but there is space over there because if I close it it's too tight around the hips, so I need to add more volume For the butt again, I'm going to add a little bit more fabric here to hide to keep the boobie from running out. And also I didn't realize that my neck is a bit bigger than the one on the mannequin, so this is not sitting properly. I think I remove a bit too much here and this needs to be bigger. That's why you have all those pleats, because it's pushing, you know, too much like this. Okay, I've adjusted the pattern. On the top I removed a little bit at the waist everywhere, but also adding a little bit at the hips. I fixed the pleats at the waist. On the chest I made it a little longer and I added some fabric here on the side of the boob. And also I added a little bit of fabric on the back of the collar, here. The top of the jacket was fine, and the sleeve I reduced the size of it and I made it into one piece. I think I'm gonna add a pocket in the sleeve, that would be fun. And for the skirt I added a little bit at the hips and removed a little bit at the knee, so it's more like a mermaid shape. And this one has not moved in 2 hours. Pardon, oui. Ça dort fort. Oh, oui. I am happy enough with the pattern, but still when I cut the structure of the garment I'm gonna add some fabric everywhere on the seams, because first I might change the kind of undergarment that I have. Not sure about that, but also with the weight of the scales and the volume of them, I don't know how much it is going to impact the silhouette. Maybe the weight of the sleeves is going to pull too much on the fabric of the jacket. Maybe the metal at the front is going to distort the corset thing. And with the volume of all the scales, I might have to add or remove some fabric at the seams. But I won't know any of that until I start constructing. So we need to start on the fabric. So I guess I need to get some fabric. This was more on the technical side of recreating a couture garment. I'm working really hard on the next video for this project, which will be going to Paris for some fabric shopping and making a corset with some armor. Working with actual metal is going to be a challenge, but I'm really excited about it. Usually my videos are more on the whimsy creative side than the technical. So like my iPad kit right there, how about you check out this video and subscribe. Bisous!